So my name is Aya, and I'm from Tunisia. And I have a mission in life. One of my missions is to tell a different story from the mainstream media. And I do that through storytelling and alternative media. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples how I do that. Media continue to promote or create and reinforce stereotypes and misconceptions. So for example, American media continue to mainstream Arabs as terrorists. So I went on campus in Georgia Southern University, where I used to teach, and I asked the students, what do you know about Arabs? And do you think Arabs are terrorists? And most of them would say, yes, I have this stereotype, but they would say, no, we cannot judge the many by the act of the few. So I released these videos and I let people break their own stereotypes. Media also promotes an image of Africa as always in war and conflict. In 2013, during Kenya's election, there was CNN reported an old video where showing violence that was not happening in 2013. And so I took my camera, my backpack, and I traveled to Kenya. And I produced a long documentary showing instead the role of youth in promoting peace in Kenya. In Tunisia recently, if you heard about the attack on Bardo Museum, the media headlines have been, Tunisia's democracy is at risk and tourism is fighting for survival. So I interviewed 20 visitors and I asked them what do they think and how do they feel in Tunisia, and they said, we feel safe and secure even during and after the attack. And you should visit Tunisia, by the way. Also media, I think media is most of the time biased. International media was, when international media was talking about Charlie Hebdo, I pitched a story about Yarmouk camp, where over 200 people have been killed or died of starvation in the besieged camp. Now the media is talking about Yarmouk only when ISIS or the Islamic State invaded the camp. So it's really sad to see that when violence and fight happens, it becomes a sexy headline. And one of the things that piss me off most of the media is that they tell our own story from with their own words. So for example, media keeps saying the Arab Spring, the revolution, the Jasmine Revolution, the Arab Awakening. And I blog to make people understand that this is a Western narrative that is creating a false public memory. So it's not the Arab Spring, we call it the Revolution of Dignity, and it's not as soft as Jasmine. So it's important to document our own narrative. And if there is no place for it in mainstream media, there comes the alternative media as a platform for that. So I'm not a journalist or a reporter, I'm just a blogger who doesn't bind by editorial lines. And even when international media publish my pieces, I still promote the narrative of peace and understanding. So in 2012, I met what I call now sisters, Rose from Kenya and Del from Cameroon. And together we shared the vision that the narratives about women, struggles and victories is usually white-dominated and men-oriented in different media. And we decided that women need to have their voices heard. And for that, we founded the Voice of Women Initiative, which is a blogging collective that empower women and girls to tell their own stories. So we have had 35 correspondents from all around the world sharing their stories. They're not journalists or reporters, they're just passionate women about telling the underreported stories from their own perspective, about them and their communities. And not stories of objectivizations or victimizations of women, but stories of leadership, of struggles in their own way, success stories about what women are doing around the world to inspire people and drive change. So I think that we can promote peace and still tell stories of conflict and violations, but what matters is to have it told from the lens of the grassroots, from the lens of ordinary people. And by going through that lens, we don't empower people to tell their stories only, but also to find solutions, their own solutions for peace. So if you want to support our project, like our Facebook page, tweet us, and if you want to check my blogs and documentaries, visit Proudly Tunisian. Thank you.